and we are live. So everybody, welcome to Work-Based Webinar Wednesday. Today we are going to highlight the Human Services Career Cluster. We have a great panel right before you. I'm sure they're going to give you a lot of knowledge. They're going to give you some nuggets of wisdom. So just tune in. I ask that anybody that's tuned in right now, I ask that you do the 3 L's, that you look, listen, and learn. If you're looking at this and you're watching this, we know that you're listening. So turn on your listening ears. And then if you're listening, you are guaranteed to learn something. So my name is Dominique Bates. I am the Associate CTE Director of Work-Based Learning and Community Partnerships for Rowan and Salisbury Schools. And I will allow everybody else to introduce themselves.
Right, welcome. My name is Colleen Young. I'm the instructional and career coach at Carson High School here in Rowan County.
And my name is Tamika Brown, and I'm the intervention specialist at South Rowan High School.
My name is Mariah Mason. I am a case manager at Church of God Children's Home.
Hey there, I'm Casey Tinch, and I teach early childhood education and counseling and mental health at Salisbury High School.
And I'm Lauren Stevenson. I am a counselor right now at Catawba College here in Salisbury, as well as a part-time counselor at St. John's Lutheran Church.
Great. So you can already tell that our panel is awesome. So we'll just start it off this way. I got a question. Can you guys speak about your career journey and talk about how you got to where you are today?
Okay, so I am a certified school social worker. At the beginning of this journey as a social worker, I completed my education at Livingstone College, go Blue Bears, and I received my Bachelor of Social Work degree there. With that, receiving that degree, I had to complete 505 hours of an internship. And because that was so many hours, I did it with 2 places here. At that time, it was called Adolescent and Pregnancy Prevention Council. Now I think it's called Families First. And I also did it with the Rowan County Department of Social Services and worked with their nurturing program and the court system. So what I did was I made sure I was well-rounded. We even worked with the intervention specialists back then in the schools. And I just made sure I just prepared myself to get all that I could from every aspect of social work. So whether I was on the nonprofit end or whether I was on the DSS end or even in schools, I just wanted to get all that I can. And I was blessed to be able to be hired by both of those agencies. I worked at Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention Council for a couple years and then transitioned as a foster care worker at DSS. And then I was offered the amazing opportunity to come into the school system as a school social worker, which broadened my horizons, and I was able to get my certification. And I have loved it since I've been here for the last 9 years.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Go ahead, Mariah.
Okay. My name is Mariah Mason, and I went to Livingstone College as well. I'm a alumni graduate this past coming May. Graduated with a social work degree. I had to do 480 hours, so we didn't have to do as much as what Ms. Brown had to do. I actually did my intern with Tamika Brown at South Rowan High School. It was wonderful. She was hard on me. She would make me redo all my papers sometimes. So redo this as a social worker. Make sure documentation is everything. So she taught me to be the best social worker I can be. And now I am at Church of God Children's Home as a case manager. I just thank God for Tamika Brown helping me through the process.
Wow. That's great.
I majored in family and consumer sciences in college. I went to East Carolina University Family and Consumer Sciences was one of my favorite classes when I was in high school, which led me to follow a career in it. A lot of the courses that we teach focus on the family system and focuses on human services itself. And a lot of our classes, the very first few objectives go over getting to know yourself, knowing where you are, loving yourself, and knowing your different personality types. A lot of my lesson plans are framed around relationships and relationships with yourself, and trying to tie back in some fundamentals of what good, decent humans need. I think creating my lessons in the way that I did is part of the reason why the district proposed that I teach the pilot course this year for counseling and mental health. So I just started that this fall, and it's been going pretty well. I try to instill in my students that I don't care about where you were yesterday. I have a lot of dogs. And I'm getting a delivery. I'm sorry, guys. But I just try to instill in them to be the best versions of themselves that they can be. And I hope that they take that and share it with their families and friends as well.
All right, I'll go ahead. So my career path was a little more irregular. I didn't know that I wanted to go into counseling and mental health at all. I was raised by a businessman, and I was a daddy's girl, so I wanted to follow in his footsteps. I went to Wake Forest University, and I was a communication grad, and I started out in advertising, marketing and advertising. Which I found out after working in 2 different ad agencies in 2 years that I hated it. I was not cut out for the business world. Basically, I'm too sensitive, and people were just very abrupt and abrasive in the business world. It was all about kind of the bottom line and making money for the client, and that's just not what kind of spoke to me in my heart. So I quit and said I would never go back to graduate school. But then after talking to a lot of people, and they would ask if you could do anything, what would it be? And I said, connecting with people, helping people, helping them reach their best potential and their wellness. So I ended up going back to grad school at UNC Greensboro, their master's in counseling program, which is phenomenal. And I found my people, I found my calling. I loved it from the second I walked in, because I was like, oh my gosh, these people feel the way I feel for people, and they want to understand people. And I just think of everybody as a puzzle, kind of, that I'm trying to help other people figure out why they are the way they are, what attributes they have that are strengths, what pieces of their lives they could potentially revise and become more self-aware of, so that they can, be a better version of themselves and make changes and create change in their life that will help them. And yeah, it's been a good journey. I started out doing random church counseling. I also worked in a hospital for a while, and now I'm at Catawba, and that was kind of a luck of just knowing the right people and having the right opportunity present itself. And I love being at Catawba and working with 18 to 22-year-olds. It's a great time of a lot of change. And I think that's really fun to be a part of. So yeah.
Great. Well, thank you all. Everybody comes from such a different background, and it shows that there are so many different opportunities in the human services field that people may not necessarily think of. So what makes your role in the human services field so unique? Let's see, we'll start with Mariah on this one.
Advocating for kids, that makes it so unique. Making sure they have the right resources, making sure their needs are being met, making sure they have somebody to show them love and care for them. That's what makes a social worker / case manager so unique.
And I would just piggyback on Mariah. You do so well, Mariah. I'm so proud of you. You had a great intern facilitator. So, but advocating for children and families is very, very key. And just having that passion and desire to want to help those that are in some kind of need is the most unique about it. Because some people would rather not work with people, but I don't see it any other way. And I think that is so different for some people that want to actually help. And I think it's just being passionate and being very genuine when you take it up as a career. And that's your sole job, that you want to do that on a daily basis. So I think that's the most unique thing about being a social worker.
I feel a lot of the same ways as these ladies do. Being an advocate for my students is my number one reason for why I'm a teacher. I think being a teacher adds a unique spin on the human services field because we're given the content, we are supposed to teach the class, but it really depends on how we approach that lesson and how we approach our students and the relationships that we make. I have a strong desire to help people, and I love being in my classroom because I know that I'm going to help my students as best as I possibly can.
Very cool. I guess I'll go. I've already talked about enjoying connecting with people and trying to solve the puzzle that is them. Well, because I'm mostly working with college students these days, that is the time in their life that people are doing that, whether they're in college or not. 18 to 22, and just those years, it can, sometimes I'll have slightly older and slightly younger, but those are the ages that developmentally people are really trying to figure out who they are outside of their families and their family culture. They're trying to figure out what they want to do with the rest of their lives. They're having oftentimes like their very first relationships with people, serious relationships, trying to make decisions about where they're going to go next, what if they want to pursue graduate school, if they want to start a family. I mean, it's just such an exciting time for me to be able to really sit with people. And so I don't know, I love counseling because for the most part, counselors are working directly day in and day out with people. And that can be with children, it can be with couples and families, or it can be one-on-one. Most of what I do is one-on-one counseling. And I just love that because it's really looking hard at somebody's inside, their heart, their mind, what drives them, and helping them figure out the best direction for them at that time in their lives. And it's just really exciting to me. Every time I get a new client, I just get excited to hear their story and try and figure out what makes them tick and where they're headed with their lives. So it's exciting.
Thank you so much for that information. I feel like all of you are well-rounded, and I'm just sitting here taking notes. By the way, I promise you I'm not texting. I am taking notes and trying to hold on to everything that you guys are saying. But my question is, what different roles or careers in the human services field are available other than the typical, counselor position that people think of? Ms. Brown, if you can speak on that first, please.
Okay, so the other roles in the area of human services could be possibly working in management with nonprofits. You can be an executive director of a nonprofit agency and provide those services in the human service field. You could also be a social worker at the hospital. There are social work is so wide, so you could be social worker in the hospital. You could be a social worker in nursing homes, or even on campuses on college campuses. It's very, very broad, and can also in the human services field, as far as working with people, be a teacher, just as we have on here in that area, and working at a college. And I mean, just so many different things in the human service field that you can choose from. Social work is very broad. Some people limit it when they hear it and they think of DSS automatically. I know so many people that think of it that way. But even with your licensure in social work, you can be a counselor. Yeah, I mean, you can. It's just so many things that you can do in this field, and that's why. That's why I really do like it. I like the versatility of it. I like the fact that I don't have to stay in one place. And I really like the fact of being able to, in my career, being able to do so many different things. I'd never get bored. Never, ever. Never, because there's always something new and something different for me to take care of. So I think that that's it. It's a lot of different things, and I know I didn't name all of them.
Anybody else can just chime in on it.
I feel like I'm not really sure if by definition these are part of human services, but I mean, you already spoke to a lot of different careers that can be in colleges and universities. I work in an office, it's the Office of Student Affairs. And so I'm working alongside people that, you know, deal with the conduct issues at the college, but also the people that are in charge of the residential life. So we have people in my office that are taking care of students' needs that are being placed in dorms and then taking care of whatever happens in those dorms. We also have people that are doing activities and like the fun stuff that happens on campus. And I feel like all of us in some degree, everybody has kind of a different route of getting to a place like student affairs in a higher education environment. But everybody is there to meet the needs of students. And so therefore it is a human services kind of career. So I don't know if it necessarily came from a human services degree program, but they all ended up advocating constantly for students and creating programming and development for students, for people. Because again, it goes back to caring about people and wanting to meet their needs and help them out, reach their highest potential. And I think that's basically what human services is. So yeah.
Mariah, would you like to chime in on that? What? Did you catch the question? You want me to answer it? Okay, I got
you. Since I work at a group home, you can be a house parent. You only thing you have to have is have a high school diploma. We need some great older people to show these kids how to be successful in life and be there for them, during their downtime, take them places, you know, just be that parent for them, because most kids here, they don't know who their parents are. Their parents neglected them. So being a house parent is one, definitely. Being a child advocate, they protect the child's rights. You also can be a community outreach. It all depends.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Colleen.
I was just going to say, I mean, the human services, as you guys are, you know, explaining so well, is just really working with people and having that connection with people and making a difference in their futures, all the way from when they're little and as far as they can possibly go, because everybody needs somebody to talk to and to lean on and to be there for them. And so, first of all, I thank you for that. And there's so many opportunities in this field that you may not have ever considered before. So thank you for sharing some of those with us. So the last question we have is kind of a fun one. So what advice would you give your teenage self? If you could think back to when you were a teenager, what advice would you have?
Okay.
Martha, what's that go for you?
Could I go?
So I talked to a couple of my girlfriends on this. I asked them for their opinion. I did this because high school Casey was something else. And so I talked to just a few of my friends. What advice did we need? So I have some things. I wrote, high school Casey needs to know that she can be just as nice as she can be mean. So put all of your energy and creativity into being kind. I added your body is changing. Everyone's body is changing. Everyone's body is different. So support each other as you go through these new changes rather than judging others and judging your own physical changes. Love your body now. And please do not let your high school experience create any type of body dysmorphia, eating disorder. Appreciate your body. I added that there's one thing that makes high school equitable, and it sucks for everybody. No teenager is left behind in this. So please, teenagers, encourage one another and build each other up rather than tearing one another down. No relationship is worth more than the relationship with yourself. People will treat you and respect you in the same way that you treat and respect yourself mentally and physically. I added watch yourself talk, build yourself up, have fun, and do what makes you happy. But every single act has a consequence. My dad always said, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough. So just to keep that in mind when these consequences come. I ended with take all the pictures and hang out with people that make you feel happy.
Good job. Does anybody have any advice left?
I do. I would just like to say that one thing that I would tell my teenage self is to, regardless of whatever I was going to choose as my career, that I need to be the best at that job that I could ever be. I need to give more than 100%. And also, after doing that, I need to take some time to take care of my mental health, my physical health, and my spiritual health. So that's one thing that I would tell my teenage self.
Definitely. I have one to add in. I would just say don't be afraid to try things. Part of the reason my experience was so winding is because I didn't push myself to get into the jobs that I thought that I might want when I graduated from college. I didn't go and shadow those jobs. I didn't go talk to people that were working in the areas of marketing and advertising to see what that would be like. I just kind of thought that when I had the degree, it would all fall into place and I would love life. Well, no, sometimes if you're not sure what you're going to do, go in and try and find internship opportunities and job shadowing opportunities. You may discover that what you have in your head as like your career path may be completely not what you're going to enjoy. Even if it is your skill set. That's what happened with me is I had the skill set to do business, but I didn't enjoy it mentally. It did not fulfill me. I did not get the connection, the human interaction and connection that I thrive on. And I had no idea that I wouldn't until I'd actually already graduated from college. And I was lucky enough that I had a degree that allowed me to still pursue my master's degree and do what I wanted to do. But it would have really stunk if I had gotten to the end and decided I wanted to be a nurse and then needed to start that degree program all over again. So don't be afraid as a teenager and in high school to start really going in and diving into what you think you might want to do, because you may learn a lot more about yourself and what you actually want. And it might change your mind. And don't be afraid to let it change your mind is the other thing. Don't be afraid to try something different than what maybe you've thought your entire life you wanted to do or what your family wants you to do.
I would say ask questions. Don't be shy. Find ways to connect with people. I was kind of shy. I wasn't shy in high school, but I didn't like talking in front of people like that. But yeah, I would say get to know people and know that you want to and give it 100% what Ms. said.
The great thing about my relationship with Mariah, it started before she became an intern for me, because she actually graduated from South Rowan High School. So when she told me that she was not only going to my alma mater, but she was also going to major in social work, I was so excited for her. And it just, it made me feel like that what I was doing made some type of impact on what she wanted to do. So I commend her, And I've seen her grow. She has been amazing. And even the people at school, they still ask about her because her time was cut short due to COVID last semester. But they still ask about her and still ask, is she coming to the school? And even with students, she was really, really good with students. I could trust her. I could give her a task. She even reached out to administration. So she got over that shyness very, very quickly. And I was so pleased to see that.
I love it. And that's, that's what it's all about. I feel like that's what human services are all about. It's just, using what you know and using yourself to help propel others and make others better. And so I've been over here taking some notes, and I want to wrap us up. I usually do a top 3, but I mean, y'all was spitting some fire. So I got like 10 things that I want to run down that just really hit me. So, man, before I do that, thank y'all again so much just for taking the time out today and being willing to help others, and just being in the career field that you're in right now, just having that heart and that passion and that desire of being a selfless person. You really don't find that. That's a rarity nowadays. So I'm appreciative of you, and I'm sure that you are making a great influence on everybody that you encounter just because of the person who you are and the career path that you have chosen to follow. So here's some things and some notes that I've taken today that I do not want our viewers to miss. So be a genuine, well-rounded people person. You have to know yourself in order to help people find themselves. Smile. The whole time that we've been on this thing, all 4 of you have been smiling like the whole time. And so, I mean, that just makes people feel good and feel comfortable in your presence. So that be a genuine person, and it's all about your delivery. It's not what you say all the time. It's how you say it. I always said it like this: it's not what you do, it's how it's done. So yes, it's all about your delivery. Use your energy to be kind. Love yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Don't be afraid to take risks and challenge yourself. And folks, that's our work-based webinar Wednesday for today. If you are watching, I ask that you follow us on Instagram at Rowan CTE. Follow us on Twitter at RSS_CTE. Follow our Facebook page, which is RSS CTE. And you can even catch these videos on a website. So you can go to our website. It's www.workbasedwebinarwednesday.org. And so thank you again. And it's a wrap.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.